Alright, hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD StarCraft, and I've taken the opportunity to clear out a little bit more of my throat, so hopefully this cast comes a little more smooth off the lips of my mouth. And Seed is going to be the teal Protoss at the top right-hand corner. His opponent is going to be the red Terran MarineKing.Prime, and MarineKing primely taking the last match very convincingly, and I really like the drop. That was all it came down to, and you'd think Seed would have enough of an army because he played more of a one-base style, got the Observer out, and then expanded. But the fallback to that is in the short run, in the short term, when you play that one-base style, yeah, you're going to have more army, but in the long run, as the game continues on, you have less eco than if you had gone Nexus first, and as a result, you actually have less army. So, and that's what we kind of saw there. MKP, God, I keep saying that. MKP was able to go in there, take out the Nexus, and then Seed was able to, or Seed had to make a counterattack, but didn't have enough forces. He didn't have enough forces, and, you know, I would imagine on this map, Entombed Valley, it's a big map, man. This is another, I guess it's about the same size as Cloud Kingdom, but I think we might see more of the one-base style, actually, because the way the players have spawned, they didn't force cross-spawn here, and they're pretty close together. I would imagine we might see 2 racks once again from MKP, and then we'll probably see the same one-gate robo style from IM.Seed. And on this map, with the spawns the way they are, I cannot argue with that at all. I think it's a must. You really cannot pull off the quick command center or the quick Nexus. It's just too risky. So here we go. The probe has already made its way in. A very quick scout from Seed, and oh man, is he gonna get that SCV? And it looks like he just got barely out of the way. That's a true testament right there to MKP and his awareness of the way the game works, the mechanics, how long it takes to finish the barracks, because most other Terrans would have pulled an SCV off the mineral field for sure. For sure. And, you know, MKP didn't. He saw that and he was like, well, I know that that's going to take another 5 seconds to finish, and I know that my SCV can survive another 5.1 seconds. So that was really impressive watching that. As to be expected, we can see both players here are opting for very similar builds. Seed going for the 2 gas will most likely, I don't see anything else coming out here but the quick Robo Bay. And he could opt to go for some one-base aggression with the Robo Bay as well. I don't know if I mentioned that last game, but when you go quick Robo Bay, you can go for something crazy like a 3-gate, 4-gate Robo and then go all in on one base. You can also, like I said, get the Warp Prism out and be aggressive against Terran. So we'll see what happens here. This pretty close spawns, you know, given how maps have evolved in StarCraft 2 and how big maps have become now. This is pretty close, and we can see how quickly the SCV takes to get over there. Looks like the Stalker, is it blocking the ramp? Oh, tried to body block right there, but the SCV said, move! Get out of the way. And it looks like it was able to get in there, but I don't really know if he really saw anything. Just a gate and a core that doesn't really say anything weird. He didn't see the gases in the back, so he really doesn't know that Seed is going for a quick tech here in the robotics facility. And there's a second gate coming from Seed. Meanwhile, MKP, has he thrown up a command center yet? We'd expect it to come momentarily. Has Marines at the front door to hold off any type of one-base pressure. And very, very similar to his build order in the last game on CK. I think he's going to go for the quick command center here. But I think this time he might throw it in the middle of the base rather than throwing it on the low ground. Maybe like right here. If you think about it, it's not a very far liftoff to go from here to here. Unlike Cloud Kingdom, it's much further. It's like from here to here. And it's much safer to throw it in base on this map. But it looks like he's just going to go ahead and throw it on the low ground. So he defies me and my orders. But there it is, MKP, the rebel. Oh, you rebel. And there's the command center coming. Meanwhile, we do have an observer on the way from Seed, and still has no indication that he's going to go for a Nexus yet, but we'll see what he does. This is all crucial. The initial observer scout from Protoss really dictates how Protoss wants to play. And we can see here, just by seeing this command center, Seed already knows, alright, that's a 2 racks expand. There's no other expand that takes that long from Terran. And if he hadn't thrown a command center by now, well, then it's a one-base play. It's like a one-on-one all-in or something crazy like that. Or it's inside the base, the command center, that is. But it does look like Seed gets in here, and he sees the factory coming. He knows exactly what's going on here. And the way the game works is it dictates that Terran now must make that attack because they're going to have more production with their racks. Is with the stim pack and the combat, the stim pack finishing, Terran has the option to make an attack here, and Protoss really needs to get this expansion down. They need to base off their scouting intel. They have to keep up in bases unless they want to go for some type of one base all in. So Seed here has to defend the expansion while the Terran makes an attack, and we'll see if he's got the wherewithal to do that. He was able to do it really easily last game, so I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this, but it's the first big attack from MKP, and he's got to be careful. Loses a Marine, but he trades with the Zealots, so that's always a good trade. And Seed here actually coming down the ramp. He's got to be really careful because when Stimpack is finished, if you're not paying attention to your army and those Marines and Marauders stim right up to your sentries, the force fields are going to be, they might be too late. So Seed has to be careful. As an observer, in a really good position, by the way. Can see if MKP is throwing down mules and getting some income going on that mineral patch, but more importantly, he can see the forces coming out from his opponent. And you can bet, guys, Seed right now, every few seconds, is glancing back at this observer and checking to make sure what is coming out from his opponent. Is there more Marauders? Because if there is, then I don't want to get too many. I want to get more Marines. More Zealots, more Charge-Outs. I want to go Charge-Out heavy. Is he going more Marines? Then I want to be careful. I don't want to get too many Stalkers. Actually, Stalkers, like I said before, not the best unit in TVP or in PvT. But, he can keep tabs on his opponent's army and kind of contour his build in that fashion. Likewise, Terran can throw Comsat, so they don't have to risk the observer. But it does look like Seed's gonna go for Blink one more time. And the one thing about Blink that I didn't mention last game in the beginning is it's really good at stopping medevac drops. It's really effective at being able to defend multiple locations at once, because a lot of times in TVP, Terrans will drop at 2 locations, and you need the mobility from the Blink. That really helps you defend. So we'll see what happens here. Supply depot goes down, and Marine King is going to go for a wave 2. He's got to be careful, though. There's a lot of sentries here with force field energy. 2 force fields coming down, and it looks like he's just going to not even care. Going to go into the Immortal, and oh, that Immortal needs to come back. Seed saves the Immortal at the last second. At the same time, Marine King also saves his group of Marines at the front, cut off by the force fields. And Seed warping in more units. Good force fields once again. The factory floats in. The flag bearer returns. Once again, the medevac saves any Marines and Marauders at the front. Great positioning by the Immortal on Seed's part, because that is protected in the background, allowing its shields to regenerate. Now Marine King gonna go in though. Oh man, he's so aggressive. He's gonna go after the sentries, and I can't believe it. He's gonna overwhelm Seed. Seed has to pull probes off the line, and I don't know if Seed's gonna have enough to deal with this. It becomes even harder to micro because there's a factory floating all over Terran units right now. And it does look like MKP, maybe the aggression's starting to falter a little bit because Seed is able to warp in reinforcements right here, whereas MKP has to walk them across the map. So that was a really good hold by Seed, but I think he lost a lot of workers, about 4. Let's take a look at the units lost in resources, and we can see Protoss definitely lost more than Terran. So Marine King came out ahead in that engagement. He was able to pick off some key units, namely the sentries. If you look at most of these sentries here, they're fresh sentries. They were just warped in. And so that is a lot of gas invested from Seed. Playing Protoss, you do not want to continuously make sentries all game long. In the beginning, they're great. They're very cost efficient, but towards the end, you really want to start saving up that gas for other things like Colossus, like upgrades from the Forge. And, forcing Seed to make more sentries here, I think that was really painful on the Protoss part. And now Marine King gonna go for a drop behind the natural, or perhaps into the main, but he's got to be careful. The blinks are the blinks are stalker enabled. The stalkers are blink enabled. And here we go. I don't think that Seed ever revealed his blink, to be honest with you guys. And here comes Seed. He's just gonna go in. Oh, the force field, not too crazy of a force field, I guess. Forces the Marauders into a convex position instead of concave, but this was not a good drop at all on Marine King's part. Wow, that was pretty much shut down. So nice job by Seed, and with that play, able to kind of get back into the mix. Now at 4,000, 3,700, so the gap has closed off in the units lost tab. and Marine King's going to have to tuck tail and run back home and figure out another way to attack into the Protoss base. Seed, likewise, going to probably want to get that third Nexus down. Starting to work the rocks right now with his Zealots and his Sentries. Comsat goes out, but it really doesn't see too much. I think it does see all the Sentries, and that is quite a bit of Sentries that were rebuilt. So, you know, from MKP's point of view, he might think, aha, I did force you to make a lot of Sentries again, and because of that, I know your tech is going to be behind. I know my +1/+1 is going to come a little bit faster. If he opts to get the one weapons, that is, it's just one armor for him right now. And I know that, you know, I have more tech out on the field, more medevacs, obviously, whereas you have just started your Colossus, so the first Colossus is on the way. Both players going up to a third base right now. Oh, the mules, man. That fresh income, oh, so big. 2,400, 2,500 almost for the Terran player. And Seed still needs to get the Nexus down in mining. So his third base is considerably later than the Terran, and this is a bit of a weak point, I think, in Protoss versus Terran for Protoss players. Because Terran can save up energy on their orbitals and drop a bunch of mules down on the third location, there's a fresh spike of resources, and you can see now that MKP is now ahead by 20 or so supply over the Protoss player. And like I said before, the tech advantage heavily in favor of MKP right now. He's got medevacs on the field, and there's no Colossus right now from Seed. On top of that, while there is force fields out there, medevacs kind of circumvent that because you can save your forces that get cut off in the front. So I think MKP here looking really good. And is Seed going to be able to hold off this attack? He might just have to forfeit the third base. He's already let the Terran up into the high ground because he had to wait for the Colossus. Now the Colossus comes in. Good force fields right there, and it forces MKP to run to the side. He didn't even want to save him into the medevac. And I think Seed here, with more forces, even though he's out concave, should be able to defeat this army. No! The concave proving too great, and the Colossus gets picked off. Oh, wow. Seed was not microing the Colossus properly. And, you know, if that had been a head-on-head engagement, I think Seed would have won. He obviously had the larger army, but the concave from MKP, too great. And don't forget the medevacs up ahead, just healing all the Terran units below. And one medevac did just go down right there, but hey, they did their job, man. They served their duty. And now MKP bringing in more reinforcements, and I think the rubber band is stretching a little thin now for Seed. He only has one Colossus. He really needed to keep the other one alive. He needs to re-macro and reinforce right now, but he doesn't even have that many probes mining from the third location. The income's still wildly in favor of MarineKing.Prime. He even has more harvesters to boot, and Viking production has begun. I don't know, Seed. I don't know, man. 178 supply to 106, 8,900 to 6,800, and I brought this game to highlight Seed, but it does look like he is going to get knocked out here by Marine King. And, you know, I guess I sound a little sad saying that, but Marine King is a spectacular player, so got to give credit to him. Really well done here. And, you know, I will rewind to that last battle here because it was such an amazing fight. But look at this. Still fighting is the Protoss player Seed. He's not giving up, but there it is, losing the Nexus. And that was all a ploy by MKP. He was just kind of keeping the army back here with half of his own army so that he could find an avenue to attack into that Nexus. And he eventually picks it off, and similar to last game, now we have a Protoss who's crippled by one base. So it is a handicapped fighter versus an MMA warrior now, and that is pretty much it. Oh, there it is. I did it again. I called the guy MMA, but no, I didn't mean to there. But I do think, yeah, there it is. GG by Seed. So Marine King wins this set, this bout against his opponent Seed in a best-of-3 from the Korean regionals of IPL 5. Pretty good games. I really like casting Terran versus Protoss because it's more of a match where you get to watch the build orders and the mechanics of the two players and how they play out. And MKP is going to be the winner for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have more games coming out. I think I'll cast another one right now, and that one should be coming out the day after this cast goes live. So hope you guys enjoyed, and this is HD signing out.